it, do it. Okay, I'm erratic, prove it. Never mind, got a mind that'll wind up with me in a lineup behind bars with these bars. Okay, my time.
Alrighty, welcome back to another independent artist spotlight. This time I have with me a gentleman all the way from the West Coast. He is a very busy man. He is a minister. He is an artist. He is a CEO and co-owner of Outsiders. I have with me Illuminate, man. How you doing?
Man, blessed by the best, repping the West and praying for the rest, bro.
Man, that's awesome, man. That's dope. That's dope. I'm glad to be able to chop it up with you and just kind of share your story a little bit. We haven't had you on the Trackstarz platform to really be able to get your story out there from our angle. And so, you know, as many ways as we can. Yeah, man, for sure, for sure. And you know, so a lot of people might know you affiliated with Hog Mob. You've had a lot of ties with God Over Money, and we've heard you kind of all over the place, and you have a new album, Winds and Waves. And
yes, sir.
It's a great album, man. I've been listening to it the past couple of days. There it is. There it is. Yeah. And it's available everywhere. And so you got a lot going on. You've had a lot of albums out in the recent years. And but you know, before we jump into all of that, man, I just want people to know a little bit more who Illuminate is and kind of why it is you do what you do, man.
Well, man, bro, first and foremost, I mean, before any of the artistry or anything like that, bro, I'm a son of God. You know what I mean? I'm really huge on knowing your purpose. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people have their purpose and mission backwards, because our purpose is to love God and be loved by God. Right?
Right.
That's our purpose on this earth, because if you could lose your limbs or your functionality, you're not going to lose your purpose. You can still love God and be loved by God. But a lot of people feel that their purpose is to preach the gospel or to win souls, when in actuality, that's your mission. So I'm huge on getting your purpose down, knowing that you're called to love God and be loved by God. And then, you know, after you're a son of God, you now have an inheritance, so you got sonship. And then you, by nature, you serve the house, you serve the body, you serve, you know, people in the community, and then you reconcile the lost to the Father. So literally, bro, I'm just a man on a mission, bro. I'm a son of God. I'm a man on a mission. I'm spirit-filled. I'm not afraid to go head up with a demon or any other, you know, spiritual entity, whatever you want to call it, man. I've seen it all. I've done it all. I'm actually also an ordained pastor, so ministry is nothing new to me. By the grace of God, man, you know, I've been poured into by a lot of awesome men of God. So I'm just trying to do what they've done with me and just reproduce other leaders and send them out to their regions and communities and have them continue to do the same, man. You know, the Great Commission, not the Great Suggestion. You feel me?
Man, that's great, because I was just, you know, I've been talking about leadership a lot, kind of in side circles and in my local community here, and hearing a lot about leadership. And I heard Miles Monroe talk about it. He said a great leader gets other leaders going. Like a great leader trains other leaders. It's not just about getting a bunch of followers. And so you saying that, like, it just proves to me already you're a great leader. So that's awesome, man. That's dope, man. That's dope. So so your story, your testimony it's out there. It's on your website. You can find it on YouTube. But I'd love for you to share it, man, just for those who hadn't had a chance to check all that out, man, because it's an amazing one.
Man, if you got little kids watching right now, this is the parental advisory warning right now. God brought me out of a life of murder, madness, and mayhem, bro. You know, just disgusting, demonic debauchery. I'm from Richmond, California, in the Bay Area, which is, you know, about 15 minutes away from Oakland, 25 minutes from San Francisco, depending on the bridge or whatever. But I was that one white boy that was in the hood. You feel what I'm saying? Like, right. I was always the one that wasn't my color around. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, growing up in Richmond, it's predominantly black and Mexican anyway. But I adapted to my surroundings. By the age of 12, I was gangbanging. By the age of 14, 15, caught my first case, was on probation, and was just in that revolving door, bro. Always back in and out, always in and out, always in and out, always in and out. So, you know, I was institutionalized as a youngster, spent a gang of birthdays and, you know, juvenile halls or county jail and stuff like that. But when I was 18, my life wasn't all bad. Let me put it like that. I chose to go that route. My parents were addicts. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So I pretty much chose that. They instilled a lot of good into me. My parents loved me to the best that they could. But my father was a heroin addict. My mother was on alcohol. She was on pills. She was on crank before it was crystal meth. So, you know, I grew up in a house just of confusion and chaos. You know what I'm saying? And then when my mom got married, now my stepdad's kid's in the picture, and I love him to death. To this day, we have a great relationship. But I gave that man hell, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
for real,
right.
for real. So shout out to all the stepdads out there. I am one now myself, and God, it is not easy. But, you know, going back to my story is that when I was 18, my father passed away of a heroin overdose. They found my dad OD'd in room 111 in the Vallejo Inn. Broke my heart. Felt like a part of my soul went with him. Weed wasn't doing it. Alcohol wasn't doing it. Trees wasn't doing it. Women wasn't doing it. My aunt and my cousin were going to church, so I gave church a try. I ended up giving my life to Christ for like 6 months, but I didn't surrender everything in my heart. So I backslid for 9.5 years. And now when I backslid, and when it says you'll be 7 times worse, homeboy, believe me, it'll be 7 times worse, bro, for real.
Wow.
Homie, I ended up getting cooked. I ended up cooking crack, ended up getting hooked on powder cocaine, ended up messing with crystal meth, ended up pimping. Shootouts were a norm. I got stabbed 2 different times on 2 different occasions, almost lost my life. You know, one of the last times I was sitting in my cousin's baby daddy's house, the house gets sprayed up with like 100 rounds from 2 AKs. My little homie's busting back with an AR-15. So imagine this, bro. This is like guerrilla warfare in a residential neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's just how my life was living. I mean, wearing a vest everywhere, having a 30-round clip on every gun that we had. I mean, I never went anywhere without a gun. So just to show you how hectic my life was, I had become a drug addict, bro. I had become, you know, somebody who used guns, somebody who lived by the gun. Thank God I didn't die by it. But I find myself in 2009. Peep this though. The Lord never left me, bro. Never left me.
Right.
Every couple months I would feel a tug on my heart, like it was the Lord calling me to come back home. And every time I ignored that tug and that call, I drifted further into the darkness. But August 19th, 2009, bro, God, man, intricately, dude, just set me up, bro. The Holy Ghost set up for real. I had came home, you know, in Frisco, you know, because I was pimping. So a lot of pimps, they go to Broadway in San Francisco to the strip clubs to try to knock a new chick or just be out there in that nightlife. Well, that's what I did. Then I went to my bottom chick's, her apartment in Hayward. That night, bro, literally, I felt the presence of a demon in that room. And I knew you couldn't shoot a demon. I had a gun.
Right.
But literally, homie, my big old self, super tatted, big 6'1", 3-something. I put the covers over my head, homeboy, and started praying. You know what I'm saying? I knew who to turn to.
Right.
But I seen literally black shadows flying around the room, bro. Like there was guns there, drugs there, prostitution happening there. So it was just a dungeon of just death, basically. The next morning, okay, the Lord makes the demon flee. I prayed to the Lord. I asked the Lord to send his presence down, cause the demon to flee. The demon fled. The next morning I woke up, went and washed my face, bro, and I looked in that mirror, and I ain't even recognize myself. I was like, man, who am I, God, and what have I become? Like, I don't even know who I am no more, Lord. Then I went and checked my MySpace, of all things. I just dated myself right there.
Right.
I checked MySpace. And there was a message on there from some girl that I had met at a club like 3-4 years prior. And she sent me a message. I remember you. You was crazy. Da, 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 da. I'm thinking, A, it's the enemy trying to set me up. Or B, you got to remember, I'm pimping at the time.
Right.
I'm like, oh, this could also be some work. I could knock her and get her in my stable. So I look on her MySpace page. There's a YouTube video, bro. I click play. It ends up being Lifehouse Everything the skit. And bro, by the end of that skit, I was back like this. By the end of that skit, homie, I'm like this, snot hanging, bawling, crying, and was like, God, I can't do this no more without you. And just surrender my life to the Lord right there in my prostitute's apartment, bro.
Man,
Right there in her living room.
That's a powerful skit, man. The first time I saw it, like it got me. And even now, if I listen to the song and I can replay the events in my head listening to it, it's still powerful.
Anointed, bro.
It is, man. It really is.
Every time I see that skit, still to this day, a tear will come to my eye because I'll remember exactly where I was when God met me there. Because he met me in my, I mean, literally, that was my deepest, darkest hour, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. And after I raised my hands, which is why I don't believe it has to be 3 points in a poem. You don't have to just exactly, you know what I'm saying, what the pastor says. But it's a heartfelt prayer. I was just like, God, I can't do this no more without you. And literally, homie, an apartment that was full of cocaine, full of crystal meth, several guns, prostitution, you know what I'm saying? All of that. The Holy Spirit invaded that place, bro. And I'm talking about invaded that place, bro, and had me in tears, feeling like God himself was holding me, hugging me, bro, for like an hour and a half.
That's crazy, man.
Bro, that's God.
Yeah.
That's God. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So can't nobody tell me, bro, that the Lord is limited to 4 walls, which is why I'm so huge on outreach, why I'm so huge on hitting the urban communities. Because honestly, bro, a lot of what I went through, I didn't know there was resources. I didn't know that there was better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of these people that are in these projects and in these low-income housing places, bro, they're just trying to survive. And to them, that's normal. Like, we have to go to where they at because they prejudge us already, bro. They think that the church people just want your money.
Right.
The devil has a lot of people, you know, believe in that lie. So it's going to take cats like, you know, not just myself, but like my brother Seven, my brother Bizzle, you know, like God Over Money, Hog Mob, myself, ITW, the West Siders. You know, that's why we're so big on reaching out to these urban areas, even, you know, city takers out there in Atlanta. I mean, bro, we got to reach out to these places because they're broken and they need help. They just don't know where to go for it.
Right, right. Yeah, it's important. It's important, man. You know, I'm real big on discipleship and, you know, so seeing, you know, the kind of work that's being done through what y'all got going on through city takers, it's a blessing for me to see it, just to know that there's people out there doing that. And
yeah, shout out to Scott and Tammy Free. Congratulations on the new baby as well, y'all. Love y'all.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I'm just curious. You know, being on the West Coast, I'm from the Bible Belt. So there's 1,000 ministries here, and there's even 1 billion churches around here. So on the West Coast, is there a different type of environment for the Christians, for folks like yourself going out trying to do ministry? Is there a bigger struggle? Because I've heard some about the West Coast. But I'll be honest, I've never been there myself. So what's it like over there on your side of the on your coast?
Unfortunately, bro, I mean, it's kind of the same game everywhere you go. It's a lot of division. You know, a lot of people want the spotlight. The most beautiful part of ministry is when it's done right, and that's in unity.
Right.
And that's when the body works together, obeying the head. You feel me?
Yeah, man.
And fighting off of logos or placements on flyers and things of that sort. So let me let y'all know, all y'all artists right now and anybody in ministry, when you start tripping off of where you're at on a flyer or where your name is and this and that, yeah, of course, I know there's status and stuff like that, but you might want to do a heart check because that stuff is minute and it doesn't even matter in the end.
Right.
On the real. You know what I'm saying? Like if you entitlement is the polar opposite of thankfulness. So you can't be both.
That's good.
You can't be entitled and thankful.
That's good.
You got to be one or the other. You feel me?
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is a sermon, man. This is a sermon. Love it, man. I love it, bro. I love it. And so let's kind of jump forward to kind of when you got started. I was curious when you said you were ordained. Who were you ordained through? What was that?
Living Hope Christian Center. I was ordained under a church, but prior to that, I was actually ordained under an evangelist. His name is Mario Murillo. So at Mario Murillo Ministry, so I hold two ordainments. He's like a world-renowned evangelist that goes all over the world. I mean, he's like a huge soul winner. If you were to Google Mario Murillo, you would see a gang of stuff. He's been doing it since the 60s, bro. But Living Hope Christian Center is my covering where I was ordained out of. But it's crazy. The Lord has me like, I'm like a hybrid Christian now, bro. I used to be, I'm serious. It's crazy. But I see God doing it a lot now in a couple different people. But I'm baptized in the Holy Spirit. I operate in the gifts, word of knowledge, word of wisdom, healing, prophecy, all of that stuff. I've operated in that stuff. But, bro, I love teaching, like the Bible.
Right.
So,
right.
like, literally, when I'm hearing the Reformed preachers, like Vadi Bakham's one of my favorite, bro. You know what I'm saying? Piper's one of my favorite. So I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. Because the older that I get and the more mature that I get, the more hybrid I get, because I do believe that, yes, there is sovereignty and there's election. And if these people would sit down and speak, you'll find that we actually agree. We're just saying it differently.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, for me, like, bro, I operate in the giftings, but I go to Calvary Chapel now. And I'm under teaching, amazing teacher. Shout out Pastor Lance Ralston. But I'm already a preacher. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I don't need to get preached at or all of that. So now I'm learning the word's getting taught to me line by line, precept upon precept. So all that's doing is fully loading these chambers. So when I go out to outreach and I go hit these hoods, like, bruh, I'm double barrel Daryl now. I can't teach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I'm a teacher at heart myself, and I lead Bible study, and I love it. And you know, and that's one of the gifts that I feel like God's given me. So yeah, I feel you on that. Teaching is incredible, man, and it's it's a huge responsibility too. I don't can't take it lightly. Can't take it lightly at all.
Well, you better say that 2 more times.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure.
Let's hold on. Let's stop there for a minute. A lot of people are watching Trackstarz, and a lot of people, they get attracted by the music that we do, and they can kind of emulate and start to idolize us Christian rappers. Don't do that, y'all. We're your brothers. Straight up. We just have a gift that we're edifying the body with too. So don't, and even with music, don't rush. Don't feel like you have to rush. So many people hit me and their stuff is terrible. And I'm just like, bro, take time. Perfect your craft. Don't feel like you got to drop an album. There's not even a demand for it right now. So people that want to be teachers, consider that call, bro. Count the cost before you just jump in a seat somewhere and you find yourself getting attacked because you ain't got the grace for it. You know what I'm saying? It's huge. It's real deal Holyfield, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I'll be honest myself, that's why I love a Bizzle and a Seven, is because they teach in their music. And I love artists who teach in their songs. And so for me, I'd rather you be a phenomenal teacher more than a rapper. Like, that's just me. That's just me. But, I mean, it's great to have both of those skills. And, but, I love a good teacher in music. And so, that's, again, but you gotta understand the level of responsibility that is. And,
absolutely.
Because it's powerful. So, you're ordained. How did Outsiders, how did Outsiders kind of get started? What's your role in that?
Okay, now, me and Outsiders are still great friends, but I had to step away as an owner.
Okay. Just
for the simple fact, bro, that building Illuminate the World and having a full-time ministry and then trying to build a clothing line that's a separate brand had me divided. And I'm human, bro. So literally the Lord told me I'm still good friends with both of them. We still chop it up. Still got mad love for them. They still shoot me gear. I'll still rock their gear and stuff. We're actually probably going to do a collab tee soon. But I'm no longer an owner of Outsiders. But shout out to Jason and Vince, man. Those are brothers that I love dearly, man. But we had I merged with them back in the day. This is before the Pray for My Hood tour, which is what really helped get Outsiders on and cracking, was that tour right there, because it went all around the nation. And then, a lot of people started seeing it, not just myself, but, like I shot T-shirts to Biz or Dayton or all of these other people. So it by the grace of God, the Lord allowed Outsiders to grow rather fast because of the people who were willing to show love to it. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think that's where I first saw it. I thought, pretty sure it was Bizzle wearing a hat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And so... So what was, if you still mind me asking, what was your role in that?
Oh, I was an owner.
Okay.
I was the owner. I still do clothing, bro. Like, I still got Illuminate the World gear, like, right here. I mean, I still do clothing. I just did a collab with my boy Sav's brand out of the Bay. I mean, like, I'm talking about, like, I still for real do clothing. Like, It's still here. You know what I'm saying? But what I do is... the Lord told me to fully function on ITW, on Illuminate the World.
Gotcha.
So now what I do is just Illuminate the World merch or gear. I do it high quality, the same as if it was a clothing line. You know what I'm saying? But lately what God's been having me do is just collabs with other different brands. And, it's been working out pretty well so far. We had one that didn't work out the best, unfortunately. But, everybody does different, and you learn. But I was definitely owner of Outsiders, and I was pretty much the face for years.
Gotcha.
So, you know what I mean? But those are still my peoples. I still rock Outsiders, man. I got nothing but love for them, man. Straight up.
We all have seasons, and I think that's one thing that you have to, as a believer, you have to understand that you'll have seasons, and just because you don't stay with somebody, you can't let that sever relationships. God's going to have you in a place for a season, and so hearing that is great. That you still have that friendship and that connection there, because I think a lot of times we get hurt when people step away from something we're doing, and we let it rip us apart.
We have to realize is that God has a way of shifting.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Every couple months, you'll feel a shift in the spirit, or you'll feel a shift in the natural, because the Lord is shifting and propelling you forward into your destiny. Mm-hmm. And now, what you have your heart attached to, He might not have for you. And you have to be obedient. And even if that thing prospers, you have to be willing to lay that on the altar to obey the Lord. Because at the end of the day, it's all His anyway.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And when I walked away from Outsiders, bro, I walked away with nothing. I didn't say, yo, buy me out, this and that. Woo, 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 woo. It was like, nah, hey, man. Hey, I love you, brothers. This just isn't working out because I have to pay attention to ITW. So I'm walking away. God bless you guys, man. I don't even want nothing from it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want you to buy me out. Nothing. Whatever labor I put in, that was for the kingdom. God bless you.
Yeah, and it says in the book of John, it says sometimes you'll plant seeds and you won't reap the harvest from it. So,
right. I mean, and I've also reaped a lot of harvest from stuff I ain't planted.
There you go. That's in there too. That's in there too, man. The scripture's strong in this conversation. Yeah, man. So let's talk about Illuminate the World, man. Is it more than just music?
Absolutely. Illuminate the World is a discipleship ministry. So basically what I do is I disciple other artists and help them get their stuff to a level of excellence. And then once they're there, once they're fully mature, then, hey, do you want to start your own chapter of ITW, or do you want to call it something else? But I want to launch you out to where you're able to be a leader in your region, and I'll also be your mentor. But you'll still be under the ITW umbrella.
Right.
You'll still be under the covering. You know what I mean? It's way more than music, bro. And what the Lord's been doing lately is He's been bringing people that don't even do music, that just have a heart for the community. So I'm just teaching them how to do outreach. And a lot of what I do is in reach too, is I'll reach into the church and explain to them what we do, the needs that we have, and how they can get involved in the outreach. Because a lot of people in these churches, they want to help. They just don't know how to, man. So we got to do some in-reach in order to get the outreach. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So let's step outside of artistry. What are some of those What are some of the, I guess, the gifts, the callings on some of these people outside of music?
Um, Man, absolutely, preaching, absolutely teaching, absolutely, I mean, just being evangelists. Um, One of them is a graphic designer. Another one is just solid as a rock, bro. And he just has the gift of helps. You know what I'm saying? Like even us, like me and my wife, like we'll just go help out different, ministries or people that we know in the community, and just like we just helped with a backpack giveaway Saturday morning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we want to make sure that we're 10 toes down where we're at, on feet on the ground, and also helping. Matter of fact, the police chief just asked my wife to run for city council because my wife has,
Wow.
yeah, my wife has like a real gift of leadership, bro. Like my wife is a strong woman, strong-hearted, strong-willed, strong-minded. Thank God she's submissive. um, but she is called to lead other women as well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, also taking this season because I've only been married going on 2 years, bro.
Okay.
And her brother got murdered the same month we got married.
Wow.
So literally, bro, we didn't have a honeymoon. It was damage control from the gate.
Mm.
My little brother got murdered 2 years prior to that. Then her little brother gets killed the same month we get married. So, bro, we definitely know what it's like to experience hardship and turmoil and tragedy. So, bro, we're just road warriors, homie. When it comes to whatever God wants us to do, we've been through a little bit of everything, so we can help a little bit of anyone. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. And so you're full time Illuminate the World Ministries?
Yeah,
Full time?
full time. Grace to God, man. So all of y'all watching, y'all purchasing these T-shirts and these hats like this here.
Right. Putting food on the table.
Just like this here, help put food on the table, man. Obviously, I promised myself that I would never be one of those evangelists that goes around and begs for money, man. I've
Right.
never been comfortable with that. I think that's so distasteful. I think it gives the enemy ammunition. You know what I'm saying? But, there's a donate button on my website. So if anybody wanted to donate, they can go to my website and do that, or they could send me a message and I can shoot them my PayPal. I'm just, I trust God, bro. And he's never let me down, man. You know what I'm saying? He's never let me down, and he ain't going to start now.
Right.
Yep.
So let's kind of jump into we haven't really talked about music that much, but you've got a plethora of stuff behind you that you've done. I know one of the big things you did that I appreciated was your racism, and that was a really big campaign that I saw. And so you got this new album, Winds and Waves. Can you just talk about the premise of it?
Okay, well, winds and waves, bro, is we all go through the storms of life, point blank, period. And like it literally says that, bro, that literally many storms,
Right.
many trials will afflict you in this life, especially serving Christ. But he's with us in the boat, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So no matter how crazy that storm is, no matter how hard that wind's blowing or those waves are crashing, we still have peace in the storm. And it also has a dual meaning, bro, that after that breakthrough comes and after that storm passes, man, you get to enjoy the refreshing winds of his spirit and the waves of his glory, man.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. I mean, we go through real things, man. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people have this misconception like, oh, you're a pastor and you're a leader and you probably don't go through anything. Like if you had any idea the stuff that I can't even disclose a lot of the stuff that my family's dealing with right now. I just lost an uncle last week, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, people are dropping like flies. You know what I mean? Just a lot of different things with my kids. You know what I'm saying? My 16-year-old, the one that still lives in Richmond, don't want nothing to do with me. We've been estranged for, a couple of years. I've tried everything that I could to get back in his life. He just ain't feeling it, man. So if y'all could remember me in your prayer time, man, my son's name is Emilio. Obviously, y'all know I'm Illuminate, but man, I'm really believing God, man, to reconcile that relationship with my son, man.
Amen.
And I'm still trekking away, bro. I can't let things like that stop me, bro. If I was to allow that pain to be at the forefront, I'd never be able to be productive. I have
Right.
to trust God that he's going to send somebody else to reach my son while I'm out here reaching as many kids as I can.
Yeah,
You know
man,
what I mean?
that's powerful, man. I just listened to there's another pastor I like to listen to. I just heard him talk about some of his old struggles and how even during those times he had a group of believers that was lifting him up in prayer, and so he was still doing his ministerial work while going through these winds and waves.
Yeah.
And so it's important for us to keep trekking on because I heard somebody say that if you're going through something, it's because the enemy's trying to is scared of the work you're doing, and it's trying
Hey,
to hold you
brother,
back.
when you under attack, you on the right track.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. So
He doesn't attack somebody he's not threatened by.
exactly, yeah,
So if the enemy is attacking you, consider, bruh, real talk, consider that a compliment. That means that the enemy is threatened by you. So now, by the grace of God, me and my wife are able to see that now. So I'm like, baby, we're on the same team. We know this is the enemy. So right now, we're going to pray right now. We're going to bombard hell with some bombs in the spirit.
there
You know what
you
I'm
go.
saying?
Yeah,
Real
man.
talk. Hey, hey, homie, we bomb back around here. We ain't. I've never been a sucker, bro. I ain't gonna start
Right.
being one now.
Yeah, man. That's I try to tell some of the folks around me going through stuff. I'm like, you can't just tuck your tail
Nah,
and just sit around
fight
and
back.
yeah, you have to, man. I mean, the battles of principalities.
Pray, fast, worship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Confess your sins to your brothers or your sisters, man. There's healing in that, bro. You know what I mean? And a lot of times too, bro, this is what I've learned. Sometimes our breakthrough is literally withheld because of our pride,
Mm,
because we're trying to handle it on our own.
yeah.
We need to invite the Holy Spirit in to that part of our life or into that battle, and the Lord will breathe that breath, man, that pneuma, bro, and that dunamis power. And then you watch yourself overcome it. Because we're meant to co-labor with God. We were never meant to just go on our own and only holler at him every now and again. He
Right.
wants to rock with us.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. This whole conversation, like I was just talking with my pastor about this. It's so crazy. This is not the typical interview. I apologize for anybody out there who was wanting just a typical artist interview. So I gotta apologize for that up
We'll get
front.
to the music in a minute. Don't trip.
But
We'll get to the beat right now.
so I mean, just real quick though, man. Side note. So my pastor was talking about, and Matthew was talking about being humble, and that being the greatest in the kingdom. And I was reading greatest, and it means the most powerful. And so, and those who are more humble and more dependent on God's power, that's what gives you power to go through the struggles and the battles and all that stuff. So one thing I want to talk about is, we've never talked before, and I'd love to know, kind of your connection with Seven. A lot of people know him more as a minister than just a rapper.
Oh,
And so,
absolutely.
what kind of an influence has he had? I know you've worked with Hog Mob, and so just where was the influence that he had in your ministry?
Bro, Seven and I aren't very far in age. I think he's a couple months older than I am,
Right.
but he's been saved, bro, for 20 years.
Mm.
So, bro, he's my spiritual big brother. He's also a mentor to me. Literally, I had no idea that there was an opportunity for us to use our giftings outside of the church. He found me when the church was trying to get me in some skinny jeans and throw a faux hawk on me. You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, Nate, bro. I wasn't going for it though. I'm like, man, that's not me, bro. Like, I don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tried to, you know what I'm saying, maybe get, a little outfit or whatever to see if I liked it. And bro, it just wasn't me, bro. So I was coming home, you know what I'm saying, from being used powerfully by God and still empty.
Mm.
When the Lord connected me and Sev met years ago at a West Coast Fire summer jam. It was like Jackie Velasquez, T-Bone, Becca Shea, Sev, myself, and a couple other local guys. But we, like we hit it off there. You know what I'm saying? Then we didn't talk for a while, but then we both got booked. Me, him, and Faith Pettis. Shout out to my little bro Faith, and shout out to Sev too, man. Those are both my brothers, like brother brothers, for real, for real. Like I kill and die for them. But they, you can forgive me, Lord, you know what I mean. But
I was gonna let it slide, man. I was gonna let it go.
Don't touch it. But God just knit our hearts together, man. When we did a New Year's Eve bash, bro, and then I did the Pray for My Hood tour with Seb, bro, and he just poured into me. And literally after doing that Pray for My Hood tour, that's when About Whatever took off. And literally, bro, like doors have been flying open since. And I've just kept that close brotherhood with him. I'm actually, there's like three of us within, like, there's Hog Mob, there's Westsiders Urban Outreach, that's ran by my boy Dante McFarland, and then there's Illuminate the World, which is ran by me. All three of us merged our ministries together, but Hog Mob is like the covering of the umbrella.
Right.
But so basically, I guess you would say like the two generals, other than, is like Sev, Dante, and myself. I guess you would say, as far as in the way our ministry is structured and things of that sort. But we don't, like, I don't just only minister to Illuminate the World people. Like, I still minister to Westsiders. I still minister to Hog Mob. Like, there's no walls there. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but Seb has been a huge influence in my life, man. I mean, a great one. Like, that man lives the gospel. I've seen that man live such a sacrificial life. I've seen so many people judge him and have such a wrong misconception about him. And bro, that man is one of the most giving people, bro. Like, I love him, like, with all my heart, man. I feel the Holy Spirit right now, even just thinking about this. But just some of the stuff that we've been through, man, like, if rap was to fall off the map, bro, like, that's my brother forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure if you guys caught wind of it yet, but he's retiring.
Yeah.
Oh, he's getting ready to do this last mob tour after this GOM tour, and I'm doing the West Coast leg with him. And then I might meet him out in the East Coast yet. It depends on the other dates that we have. We're still confirming that. But man, it's just, he's been such a monumental, huge, instrumental, piece of, man, just a source of wisdom, of instruction, of an exampleship. You know what I mean? Like, I've learned the most from my spiritual father, Benjamin Robinson, and Seven, man. Those are, two of the men that I've learned a lot from. Mario Murillo too, but those two men right there, bro, like, man, I seriously, man, like, there's nothing that I wouldn't do for them, for real.
Yeah, whenever I heard he was retiring, like, I don't even know the guy. I've just heard his music and heard his testimony, and it kind of hurt a little bit. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, no, he can't retire. Like, but I know he has important work he has to do besides music. So I can respect that, and I can respect the season of his life that he's getting ready to go into. And so,
bro, get ready, bro. Like, I already know. I mean, obviously, I'm in the inner circle,
right? But
I already know what's happening next, man. So just get ready, because it's about to be on and popping, like, for real, for real. Plus, he's getting a son full time as well. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, Seb is a great dad, man. He's in Luke's life, like, man, that little dude. I love him. I love my nephew, man. He looks just like Seven. But Seb is a great dad, man, and is just, obeying the Lord. And just get ready, man. There's gonna be some discipleship schools and some real Bible colleges getting ready to crack off.
Man, I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see what happens from here on, man.
Yeah.
You got that lifting off point, and so I'm excited to see what goes on. So yeah, man. So I mean, he was on your album, 80s Baby.
Yeah.
And so, but this album, it had a lot of known people, and then it had a lot of other people that people may not have heard of. Are some of these folks Illuminate the World people, or because there's I wrote down a whole list of artists, man, and so you had Frank Bells, you had Casey, or it is Casey.
KC,
Casey.
yeah, KC's ITW. She's actually in a season of not doing music right now. Her husband took a pastor position at a church out here, so she's helping her husband, and plus she just graduated nursing school, so she's taking a sabbatical from music right now. She just doesn't feel like, but ITW is, if this is where she still has a home with us, man. You know what I'm saying? She's just taking a sabbatical right now, but that's like my real life. Like, I've treated her like a for real little sister. Like, I love her like blood.
Right.
So no matter what they do, Frankie Bells he's not ITW. Frankie Bells is the homie. He's out of Pennsylvania. AI is my homegirl out of Buffalo. Get ready for her. She's up next, man. AI got some things, man. Me and her husband are really good friends, man. Me and AI are great friends too. Our family loves their family, man. We're just, everybody that you hear me on a song with, I have a genuine relationship with. I don't just do music to do features. Yeah, like real talk.
Yeah, that's a lot of people, man. Because you had, I saw, Tab Brazel.
Yeah, I've known Ty for a couple of years, man.
Yeah, Joey Jewish.
Before he signed.
A ton of people up here.
Yeah, so, me and Joey built for a couple months prior to doing something. But to be honest with you, man, I'm not with that front running stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a real cliquey dude, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not on that, let's be different. Let's all be different. You know what I'm saying? Like, and, no knock to anybody else that does it. Like, bro, I do me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to change who I am to catch this new wave that's not going to last long anyway. You know what I'm saying? Waves come and waves go.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. You have your style, and you're comfortable in that style. And so, some people, they get comfortable in the style, and then they adjust to the market, and they adjust to the market. And I mean, it's no shot at anybody. Some people do. I feel like some people have, I guess I call it to stay relative or whatever. And but you definitely have you kind of have your groove. Had you just always felt like, this is me, I'm going to consistently do what I feel comfortable doing? Has that always been kind of your?
Well, if you notice, there's certain like the one that me and Joey Vantes did, the one that me and Joey Jewish did. That one, if you'll notice, doesn't sound like a typical Illuminate song.
Right.
But I went ahead and hopped on that and still was able to kill it. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And then like the song with Surf Gang and KC, that's also not my normal sound. But you see, I'm very, very, very diverse, bro. I'm very versatile. I always have been. You know what I'm saying? Like my voice, by the grace of God has given me that voice that's like thunderous, that commands attention. Like when I spit, you listen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I can also spit super fast too. So you know what I mean? Like by the grace of God, the Lord has made me versatile. I'm able to do what I do, but I'm also able to hop in the new lane with the new cats and still, you know what I mean, do me, but in a newer kind of way, a newer sound.
Right. Yeah, and that's one thing I noticed. One, no offense, it was one of my favorite songs. I'd say, a thing or two, no offense, and even Winds and Waves. Those are probably three of my favorite songs on there, and 80s Baby. And so,
that's the next single.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. We shot the video. The video came out dope.
Nice, man. I can't wait. I can't wait to see that, man. And, man, can't believe Seven's retiring. Everybody's just going to get over that. So, but one thing I want to talk about was Tower of Power. Now, I heard in another interview that you did that was that a group your dad was a part of?
Yep. So, my uncle is still the leader of the band, and my dad was a drummer. This Time It's Real, we remade that song. My dad wrote that song by himself.
Oh, okay.
So my dad was the only writer on that song. We could have done a gang of different stuff. Like my dad wrote on a bunch of their stuff, but we chose to do This Time It's Real because that was like one of their big hits that he wrote, and that was one of their singles that really blew up back then. That I know I can feel it. This time it's real. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So my dad wrote that. So my uncle was like, yo, we should do that one because me and my uncle had been talking for a couple years about doing something. So we finally did it. So what ended up happening is I reached out to my boy. He used to go by Big Juice, but he's Alexander Hitchens now. One of my go-tos, man. I love his production. Amazing. But he sampled it, made the beat, and I asked him, yo, leave like 12 to 16 bars at the end for them to write some sheet music to. So literally, I shot the beat out to my unc. He loved it, loved the groove, loved the pocket, and then literally had their dude who writes the sheet music write a part specifically for that song. So that's Tower of Power literally playing live horns on my track.
Right.
And then Lenny Williams is singing the hook on it. And, you know, I'm not sure if you're familiar. You remember that? Do you know who Lenny Williams is? Are you familiar with a song? He had a huge song. Okay, now when I do this, you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm not a singer, but he's famous for that one. That girl, you know, I love you.
Okay.
No matter what you do, that one. He's like, they've both sold over 100 million records, bro, worldwide.
Right.
These, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, man, for that song to not have a bigger reach right now, it's just mostly because CHH has no idea probably who it is. But I'm just like, yo, like, man, like this is like a big deal.
Right.
You know what I mean? But sometimes some people catch on later and, whatever God's will is, man.
Yeah, I noticed, definitely kind of a different feel to the song, and that's what made it stand out. And then, whenever I looked up, I looked at the name, because what happened was I listened to the album, and, I noticed that, and I saw the name of the band, and then I heard you in another interview talking about the band, and I was like, hold on, wait a minute, they were on the album, weren't they? And,
yeah.
And so I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I mean, that was a blessing, man. I mean, for me and my uncle being able to do some music together and, pay homage to my pops who, died of an overdose almost 20 years ago. Like, it was a surreal feeling, man. Like, when they got off stage, me and my uncle just hugged and just, like, cried. You know what I mean? My uncle has been serving Christ now for, like, 10 years, too. So my uncle is a believer. Tower of Power's next album is actually going to be Christian. So, yeah, man.
It's interesting because when I first heard it, I was thinking that's a really great Christian band name, Tower of Power.
Right?
so I mean, it really works, man. Years down the road, it the name still, the name holds, and so that's pretty awesome, man. So are you what's the next tour that you're doing as a part of this album?
Let's see. The Pray for My Hood is the one that I'm doing. I'll be in Compton Friday, Bakersfield Saturday, and San Bernardino Sunday. I got to come back to Oxnard Friday night and meet everybody at the GOM tour out here. And then after I do the Pray for My Hood tour, I'm doing the Mob tour with Seven. And then we're actually in the process of booking another tour right now. Me and a couple different people that I can't let the cat out the bag, but it's going to be dope.
Nice.
Like full production. Like we're coming with our own sound, lighting, the whole nine. Like it's going to be real deal Holyfield.
Yeah, I think, that's one area that I think any artist, especially anybody who's serious and trying to do music full time, is getting that live show performance down.
Absolutely.
And I heard Loso talking about it, just talking about how, the artists that people know, on a higher platform, I guess you'd say, they put so much into their live performance.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's one area.
Experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to travel and tour with a DJ and a drummer everywhere I went. And like the experience is crazy. So I'm actually literally looking again right now because I moved from the Bay down towards, I'm about 40 minutes outside of downtown LA. So I'm actually looking for a DJ and a drummer down here, bro, to where like I'm gearing up to get ready to get back on the road and start tearing some things to shreds again. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So
That ain't nothing like that live band show. There's nothing like that live percussion, bro.
yeah,
Oh,
it makes a difference, man. It really does.
you
And you can be very much more kind of versatile in your show. Uh,
absolutely,
you can change up the show from place to place, so nobody knows exactly what you're doing.
absolutely.
And so, so what if somebody was trying to get y'all out on the East Coast? Um,
Uh-huh.
I'm on the East Coast. If somebody was trying to get you out on the East Coast, what would be the best way for them to get in touch with you to do something like that?
Um, all my social media is at Illuminate ITW. If you'll go on my Instagram, you'll see my management. Um, Literally, my management information is right there in my bio on my IG. Dante Ralston handles all of my booking for me now. What is it? I think it's here. Matter of fact, I don't want to give you the wrong one. So it's booking4chh@gmail.com.
Okay.
So booking4chh@gmail.com, and that's my brother Dante Ralston. Yeah, man, and we're he's involved in this next tour, man, and we are getting ready for real, bring a live experience, bro. It's that time. It's
Yeah.
that time. You know what I mean? I mean, we the skill has been there, the gift has been there. Now the Lord is bringing the resources. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that time. It's that time for us to showcase, like, we're not just them cats from the hood who just have a big heart.
Right.
Like, yo, these guys can preach fire, but yo, did you see their live performance? That was amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's time to start diving into that realm.
Yeah, man.
So get ready.
There's one question I want to ask you. What is something? I'm guessing you're proud to claim kind of the CHH space. Is that something you're comfortable saying?
Yeah.
What would be something that you would see that might be missing that would help kind of just unite everybody in CHH? What's something that you'd like to see kind of happen to really bring everybody together?
Do you and do what God tells you to do. What does he tell you to do? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and then love your neighbor as yourself. It's really not that hard, man. Let go of the ego. Literally, let go of that ego and start rubbing shoulders with brothers, man, and stop being afraid to give other people opportunities, man. A lot of these so-called gatekeepers, they won't let anybody else in or on, you know what I'm saying, unless they're profiting from it. And it's like, I understand that. I get the business aspect, but can we please bring Christ back to the center of this thing? That's my whole thing. If Christ is not at the center of this, then what are we doing?
Yeah, man.
Literally.
Yeah.
For these people saying that, I'm a rapper, but I'm not a Christian rapper. What makes a gangster rapper? The content of their music, right? If you're rapping about Christ, you're a Christian rapper, bruh. Just speak. It's cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to pigeonhole nobody. I'm not even speaking about Cray and them. I got nothing but love for Cray and Andy. I've done shows with Andy and Tadashi and KB, and you know what I mean? I've done a gang of shows with them. I got nothing but love for them. They're great people. You know what I mean? I support Reach and what they do. But I'm talking about this other wave of people that just wants to be different. Like, oh, I'm not a Christian. I'm a believer. Or I just believe in the way. Like, come on, bro. Like, homie, so many of our ancestors have died and went through so much persecution to bring us up until this point. Don't spit in their face, man.
Yeah, that's something.
Man.
That's
love your neighbor.
That's something I thought about. You know, you had so many people that held on to that title through death. Like, they held on to it through death. And so, you know, and again, you know, I don't think whenever people are talking about this, because, you know, Bizzle's addressed it before, and is, you know, he publicly endorses Lecrae. And so, you know, Lecrae's not the only person who gets attacked for this, or who gets, you know, who says it or feels it or whatever. But there is, you know, there is a lot of artists out there who as soon as Lecrae said it, everybody else started saying it. And so, I think,
be a follower of Christ, not
Yeah.
Cray. Okay?
And he says that.
And
And he says that.
let that man live his life.
Yeah.
Stop, dude. Quit swinging on that man's sack, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Let that man live his life. He's forerunning, bro. What he's doing, nobody's seen before. Give the man some grace to make a mistake or two.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Cray, if you're watching this, homie, I salute you, bro, and I'm praying for you, man. Keep going. Keep going. And take Christ with you, homie, because you know what? I've been to your shows, and I feel the Holy Spirit there, and I was ministered to.
Yeah.
So let these people talk what they want to talk, and you stay on your mission, homie. For real.
Yeah, anybody who goes to a show knows that Christ is all in it. It's all in it. It's all in it. And
even what was that? What was that song? That Jesus, something like that. At the show, he did Jesus, 5 different times.
It was a song "Fear," I think, from his Anomaly album.
I think so. Yep.
Yeah.
The Anomaly album. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, man. If that ain't enough for y'all, shut up.
It's funny because, you know, in my area, it was all predominantly all white people there. And I was like, are y'all? I mean, I don't think anybody, you know, who was really, really critical of them would have went to the event, but I'm sure there's probably a few. And I'm like, y'all do see it now, right? Y'all do see it. And I can't lie, you know, there's sometimes whenever I hear artists or, you know, and sometimes I question it, but then I realize this, you know, and then I got to repent because it's not really my job to question.
The one thing that I will say is this, man. Is the one thing that I think that where they might have made a mistake was changing their mission statement on the website. That was kind of the one thing I was like, oh, you kind of took Christ out of it. But, you know, if you feel the mission changed and you need to do that in order to get into some other doors, homie, I know for me, wherever I go, Christ goes because he's in me.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? I don't feel the need to have to wear the Christian t-shirt, wear the Christian hat, speak the Christianese, and have the Christian logo on everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, to me, that was the only thing I was like, I don't know why they did that, but you know what? I'm sure they did it for a reason. And hey, you know what? I still feel Christ is at the center of what they're doing. So, homie, who am I to knock it, man? Go team, go. The Bible literally says if they're not against you, they're for you.
Yeah.
In the book of Matthew. So, man, we're the same team, bro. Go team, go.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
That's how we should be. Hey, what you're doing, I might not understand it. Let me pray for you. Make sure, you know what I'm saying, just to cover you in prayer, or maybe God might give me some understanding. But go team, go.
Right.
We gotta realize that we're on the same team, bro. And we got to stop shooting our wounded. We got to do a better job at accepting people and stop shunning people, man. Because you ain't the cool kid.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, man, I've loved this conversation. It's been great. Even the prayer beforehand, those don't know, at the very beginning of this, Illuminate wanted to pray for the interview, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for you, grateful for your music, what you're doing outside of music. I think a lot of times people's number one focus is the music instead of the ministry all around it. And I definitely don't feel like that's the case with you and Illuminate the World and Hog Mob and everybody else out there that you're rolling with. And so, you know, everybody, wins and waves. Is it waves and wins or wins and waves?
It's wins and waves,
Wins and
bro.
waves.
But honestly, as you've heard the album, bro, you got to keep it real. And this is, you know, no pride, no cockiness and nothing like that. But you got to admit it's a dope album, bro.
It really is, man. It's versatile.
Bro, I put a lot into that album, and it just needs to get in people's ears, bro.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. All I want is one chance. Give me if people would just give me a chance and listen to my music, I guarantee you they'd be like, yo, bruh, is actually dope.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
But I think what it is sometimes it's harder to reach the masses. And you know, we ain't got, homie, we live a sacrificial urban missionary lifestyle. So it's not like I got a gang of racks to put into promotion on, you know what I mean? And all of these places. But I'm just saying, like, people like you or the Trackstarz, all of these different platforms, like, thank you so much for what y'all do too, because you help us. You help us reach these people. Like, bruh, they need to hear this music. Is my album, is it or is it not spirit-filled, encouraging, and gives you life?
It really is, man. I listened to it several times straight through. Like, it wasn't just I listened to it probably about a week ago for the first time.
Yeah.
And, which is interesting because right after I listened to it, that's whenever we were trying to schedule this interview. And I was like, yeah, man, that's, you know, and I was excited about it. And then going back and listen through it again. And, you know, and I kept hearing songs and I was like, this is, you know, because usually I listen to it and I'll pick out a couple songs.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, you know, Jared Sanders' latest album. I couldn't find just one or two that I'd put on repeat. I just had to play the whole album again.
Yeah.
And so this is one of those albums, man. I think you did a phenomenal job. All the features did a great job. Nothing stuck out like a sore thumb. Every once in a while, there'll be something that, you know, you're like, that probably could have stayed off. But everything really meshed well, man. I think you did a great job in just composing the whole album together.
Thank you, bro.
So, yeah, man. So definitely everybody needs to go buy the album, and then you can stream it.
Yes.
Buy it first.
Please buy the album. Now, let me break this down for people, okay?
Break it down, man. Break it down.
1 million streams on Tidal. 1 million streams. 1 million streams. You're only getting $12,000.
Wow.
If you get 1 million streams on Spotify, you are only receiving $4,000. If you get 1 million streams or plays on YouTube, you are only getting $690. It's such a sliding scale. And bruh, like, if you listen to my album, you could tell that I put money into it.
Right.
You could tell that I got quality production, bruh, quality mixing and mastering, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my preference. I refuse to do anything with the Lord's name with it not in excellence, bruh, because that's just wrong. You know what I'm saying? We should be sounding better than the world, bro.
Yes.
Real talk.
Yes.
And all of y'all, please stop trying to copy the world, man. Please, God. The Lord is the most creative person ever. He can give us a new sound. We don't need to copy what they doing, man. For real.
Yeah.
But I say that to say, yo, man, if you can, please purchase the album.
Yeah.
Because that would greatly help. I mean, it way more. Like, literally, one stream, I get like a fraction of a cent every time you play the song.
Right.
I mean, like a 0.000484, like a super fraction. So I got mouths to feed, and as you could tell, I'm not a little guy. So, but nah, man, I appreciate you, Jay, man. Real talk.
So is it better for you if somebody buys it on iTunes or buys it the actual album from your website? What's actually more beneficial for you as an artist and a business owner?
I mean, obviously for me, off on my website is definitely more beneficial. And then I'll also sign it if you will put in the notes that you ordered through Trackstar. My website is www.itwm.co. So it's .co, www.itwm.co. Or, you know, if you can't do that, iTunes is cool too, man. You know what I'm saying? Bakers can't be choosers. I just appreciate the love. You feel me?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and get the physical myself. Get me a signed copy. And but yeah, man. So like I said, man, I appreciate you doing this. It's been great. It's been great getting to know you and talking with you.
Likewise.
You know, and your testimony is all over the internet, so people can still go find more because there's a lot of other stuff that that you've had in your life.
On my YouTube channel, there's a dope testimony video that I did with DeMarco Films down in Orlando, Florida. They did a really good testimony video on me a couple of years back. But it's on my YouTube channel, and it's actually really dope. It's at youtube.com/Illuminate ITW. Like literally every single social media is Illuminate ITW. Facebook.com/Illuminate ITW. Twitter @Illuminate ITW. So it's all uniform. If you want to find me on any site on the internet, it's just put whatever the site is and then /Illuminate ITW. If it's the put @Illuminate ITW, and you can find me right there.
That's just a quick nugget, and I've shared it before a lot on my business podcast. That uniformity is extremely important.
Oh,
very important. Very important.
Oh, yeah. So, absolutely.
It is, man.
Seeing people to 18 different names, they're like, huh?
I know.
Who are you again? What am I doing?
And especially if it's really hard to spell. If you give me something and I gotta, remember 4 different tricks to spell it the right way, you might as well not even say anything. I mean, if I gotta remember, that this letter looks like this in a special, it's bad for business. Bad for business.
All bad.
It is.
But those are the things. See, now that's the thing that I teach my artists. So that's one of the things you learn over the times, is that I see what I do is when I disciple them, it's more than just music. Right. It's the business aspect, but it's also the spiritual aspect. How's your walk? How's your devotional life? How's your marriage? Mm. I've had to sit people down whose marriage has been out of order. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bro. But see, this is where you make enemies in ministry. When you have to hold somebody accountable, you'll see whether or not they're really there because God has them there, or they're there for the platform.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why ministries have such a high turnover rate, because people think they're the ish, and it's just unfortunate, man. But God bless them. Yeah,
man. Yeah, even the bigger churches. A lot of those people aren't there for a long period of time, because if they just start to get called out on something, they dip out. They just want to go there for
that's why they go, because they can hide in the pews.
Yeah, exactly.
in the big churches.
Yeah, man.
They don't want it. Hey, bro, I put it. Hey, one of my homies is a pastor, right? He told me this early in ministry. He said, accountability without honesty is stupidity. Straight up. And I was like, yo, that's real. He's like, because you're only fooling yourself, man. Like, why fake it? Don't even do it then. If you're going to do what you want, just do what you want.
Yeah, that's facts, man. That's facts. And some people say they want accountability, but they're just saying that because you're supposed to say it.
They want attention, bro. Yeah. At the end of the day, they want attention or a platform most of the time. Unfortunately, I hate to be that way, but there's, cats that have come at me. And first off, that's why I don't pick who's in ITW. God has to pick them. The Lord has to literally highlight them to me a couple different times before I'll accept them, or before I'll even bring the conversation up. Then I'll have them pray, or have their spouse pray with them, and then talk to their pastor about it. You know what I'm saying? Because everything has to be done decently and in order. But yeah, man, it's unfortunate, bro. But human nature is human nature, man. And we still got to love these people. And you never know what business a man handles at the foot of the cross, because you're not the same man that you were 6 months ago, and neither am I. So we also have to extend that same grace. You feel me?
Amen, man. Amen. Well, Illuminate, I appreciate it, man. Us at Trackstarz, we support you. We support your music.
Appreciate you.
DJ Jeremiah plays it on the show. And definitely looking forward to hearing a line for line. I'm sure he's going to throw this one in there. This new album.
Like YG or something.
Yeah, man, that'd be dope, man. I can't wait, man. He always,
YG don't want it, bro. I'm playing.
You got to hold Joe, man. You got to hold Joe. And I think that's one good thing about those guys, is they're completely honest with everything. They're completely honest. Lecrae hasn't won.
I'm actually looking forward to that. And make sure they use my new stuff too.
Gotcha.
Make sure they, bruh. I mean, or you could use the stuff that went viral, the Righteous War or the About Whatever. Those two went viral, so I'm confident in those ones too.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate it, man, and looking forward to seeing. Hopefully, you can make it on the East Coast, and it'd be great to see you live. And but yeah, man, God bless you, and illuminate the world, man.
God bless you too, family. I really appreciate you, Jay. It's been a blessing and a pleasure, bro, for real, man.
Yeah,
and
man,
may the Lord continue to bless you guys and expand your territory in Jesus' name, bro. Have a blessed one, bro.
All right, you too.
Hey guys, Miracle here. Thank you so much for watching that episode. Make sure you go below, like it, subscribe, click the bell, and make sure you follow us on all forms of our social media. Also, check out our website and be sure you spread the word. We'll see you next time.
We know not what we doing. Screw that, they know, let them have it, do it. Okay, I'm erratic, prove it. Never mind, got a mind that'll wind up with me in a lineup behind bars with these bars. Okay, my time's up.
Team Freedom.
Yeah.
We not through yet.
All right.
Trackstarz Music presents.
Turn my volume up. Turn me off.